Chamakanda iye iye. Onaka Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Everybody!
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
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 Where did it happen? Where didn't it happen? It happened a long time ago. It happened in Zimbabwe. There was a man, and his name was Chamakanda, and he was a very good friend of the children. He danced with them, he played with them all day long. You would find him playing with the children, but he was an especially good dancer.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Oh, Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda,
Chamakanda iwe iwe. Well, one day when he'd been playing with the children, he grew very tired. So he sat down, he leaned against a tree, and he fell sound asleep. When he woke up, he saw there was a boy sitting right next to him. Chamakanda reached up onto his head to see if his hat was still there. He always wore his hat. He never took off his hat. His hat was still there, but the boy noticed, and he said, "Chamakanda, what is under your hat?" Chamakanda said, "I never tell anybody what's under my hat." "Oh, please, Chamakanda, please let me see what's under your hat." "I never tell anybody." The boy said, "When my father takes a bath or goes to sleep, he takes off his hat." "No," said Chamakanda, "I never take off my hat." The boy begged and pleaded till finally Chamakanda said, "If you promise never to tell anyone, I will show you what's under my hat." "Oh yes," said the boy, I promise. So Chamakanda took off his hat, and the boy began to laugh. Chamakanda's ears were big. They were so big like a donkey's ears. The boy laughed, but Chamakanda pointed at him and said, "Remember, you must never tell anyone." And Chamakanda put back on his hat, and he went on his way.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda,
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe.
Onaka Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda iye iye.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Well, Chamakanda went off, and so did the boy. And on the boy's way home, he ran into one of his friends. All the while he was saying, "I must never tell anyone. I must never tell anyone." And when his friend came up to him, his friend said, "What is it that you must never tell anyone?" "I must never tell anyone that Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears." And he went on his way, but now his friend knew. And everyone his friend met, he told. So now the whole village knew. Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. You could hear everyone talking about it. You could even hear the wind whispering, "Shh, Chamakanda has big ears. Shh, like a donkey's ears." Well, the boy, before he got home, grew tired, so he sat down and he rested. He rested in the forest beside a tree. All the while he said, I must never tell anyone. I must never tell anyone that Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. When he had rested, he got up and he went all the way home.
Chamakanda yeah yeah. Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
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 Well, it so happened in their village there was a very good drummer, and he decided he was going to make himself a brand new drum. So he set out into the forest looking for just the right piece of wood to make his new drum from. And well, he picked the very piece of wood, the tree that the boy was sitting next to. He cut it, he brought it home, and he made a very beautiful drum. A very, very beautiful drum. The next day was Saturday, and he wanted to show all of his friends his new drum. So first, he played his old drum.
Chamakanda yeah yeah. Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe.
Palaka Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda tere kukura.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda tere kukura.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
Well, then he wanted to show him his new drum. So he took out his new drum, and no sooner had he touched it than it started to sing. It said, Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. Every time he touched the new drum, it sang, Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. Well, everybody was singing and dancing. Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. Soon the whole village was up and dancing and singing and dancing, and they decided they wanted to see for themselves. So they started to walk up to Chamakanda's house. It was up in the hills. It was a long walk, and on the way, they were singing, Chamakanda has big ears, big like a donkey's ears. Well, Chamakanda heard them coming. He heard them and he said to himself, I told that boy not to tell anyone. So Chamakanda went out of his house and he hid inside a cave. He went inside a Muninga and there he hid.
Chamakanda yeah yeah. Chamakanda yeah yeah.
Chamakanda, Chamakanda iwe iwe.
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 When they got to his house, they knocked on the door. There was no answer, so they knocked again. There was still no answer, so they looked all around the house. They looked in the bushes, they looked up in the trees. No Chamakanda. So they went inside the house. They looked everywhere. They looked under the bed. They looked in the closets. No Chamakanda. Well, you remember that Chamakanda was a very good friend of the children. So all the children got together and they called out to him, Chamakanda, come back, come back, Chamakanda. We won't tell anyone that you have big ears, big like a donkey's ears. Chamakanda heard them, but he did not come back. Oh no, he did not come back. Finally, all the people went away. Chamakanda went into his house. He took some of his things with him and he went on his way. He set out into the world. Perhaps one of you might find him. You'll know him because he always keeps his hat on.